More than smoke, cash in the trade with the truth we hold. Dark telling dark, real men talk about the weight on they souls. More than smoke, cash that light, but we don't hide when the days feel cold. More than smoke, we burn it down so we can build back whole. It's just more than smoke.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of More Than the Smoke, where status disappears but the smoke stays the same. My name is Jamon. Welcome. This video will serve as episode 5, session 4. This is a spur of the moment video. I literally felt inspired to come on here. I'm literally watching a YouTube video with it is, let me not get it, hopefully I won't get it wrong, but it is Cassidy Warren and Omar El-Takouri. Man, I hope I didn't get that wrong. Both are phenomenal content creators on YouTube. I definitely follow Omar and have watched a few of his videos. The name of this video is How to Create Infinite Content in 2026. It was apparently it was done a month ago. Anyway, Omar is on here talking about just a myriad of different things. I won't even go into all that. I want to talk more about why I came on, why I felt led to come on. I wanted to possibly the title of this is in reference to an episode that I thought I was going to do earlier when I was making these making these episodes, but I did other things. I talked about other things that you as new listeners, watchers, and subscribers to this content, and hopefully you will enjoy it, will be able to go back and look at some of my earlier videos. I thought I was going to talk about it earlier, but I didn't. And so I just felt led to talk about it now, because in what a lot of comments that Omar made, it made me think of myself. I saw myself in what he was talking about, and the title of this is going to be I hit the reset button. That's the title for this. I hit the reset button. Everything I'm saying is unscripted. I don't know how long I'll be on here. I'll be on here, I guess, for how long ever that I need to be on here. I hope that what I'm going to say and what I'm going to share is going to be encouraging, impactful, and inspirational. And to that, if you then are coming across this channel and you are watching this, I hope you will enjoy it. Like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit the notification button. I'm new. I'm not necessarily new to YouTube, in that I've been on here several times. One time in before, back in 2024, and life began to life. I lost momentum. I lost motivation. I lost confidence in myself, and I got off of YouTube and just began to live life and stuff until I built up momentum or the confidence in myself to come back on a few more times. Anyway, I want to get into why I'm here. I said I hit the reset button. Let me explain that. I'm 54 by the grace of God. And if it's the Lord's will, this year, 2026, I'll turn 55. For a lot of the years of my life, especially being a Christian, coming straight out the gate, especially in being a Christian. I've been a Christian for over 30 some years. A lot of the years of my life as a Christian was overthinking, it was spent in overthinking. It was spent in beginning projects. I get excited about some things I'm going to do. And somewhere in the middle of it, of that quote unquote project, I would either talk myself out of doing it. I would begin to believe the lies of the enemy and myself, and I would quit. And over time, what that caused me to do was kind of this begin, stop, begin, stop, begin, stop. I never followed through. And I began to feel that. I began to take that in, and kind of make it a part of my identity, in that I, would get down on myself. And I would start to doubt who I was. I would start to doubt what the assignment, I want to say that way, not so much as a call, because many times when we say, oh, the call on my life, many times we be thinking, oh, I'm called to be a pastor, I'm called to preach. And I do believe that, so to speak. I'll get more into that, hopefully, maybe in this video. I don't want to use the word call. I'm saying I want to use the word assignment. And what I'm saying is, I've doubted over the years, for decades at times. Matter of fact, what I'm sharing right now this evening, I shared earlier with my brother, when we had just got out of church. No, I think we had just got to church, actually, early this morning. And I was sharing some things with him about this very thing that I'm talking about. And this very thing that I'm talking about is, is what I told him, that I hit the reset button for decades. I'm talking over 20 some years, if not 30 some years of my Christian life. Over time, I was under a lot of pressure. A lot of it was, I would say some of it was my fault. If not, a lot of it was my fault, in that I made being, not so much being a Christian, but trying to find my way, harder than it needed to be. And over time, that caused me to doubt who I was. That caused me to doubt what my assignment in the earth was, what my contribution in the earth was, what the call on my life was. A lot of it was rooted in needing and wanting the validation of others. So I was looking for people's approval. And if I felt like if people did not approve of me, approve of the call, the call on my life, I tended to think that, oh, well, then that must not be what God is calling me to do, And it just led to years, time over time, just not being fully confident in who I was, not being fully confident in my purpose in the earth. And it caused me to waste a lot of years. However, I believe that God uses everything. Hopefully I say this right. Like on a pig, everything on a pig can be eaten, nothing wasted, nothing thrown away. God uses everything. He uses every crooked path, every straight path, every side path, every roadblock, he uses everything to get us to where he has predestined us to be in the earth, for his glory, for the benefit of others, to make our contribution in the earth. He uses everything. Nothing gets wasted. However, I would beat myself up. I would doubt. And I state this now. I truly believe I know there is a call on my life. I know that I'm called to preach or present the gospel in some way. 54. At 54, I still ain't completely got it, but I've been through a lot. God is bringing me through a lot, has brought me through a lot. And even at 54, man, I'm still trying to figure it out. And this is to anybody, anybody, man, woman, adolescent, or child that can understand what the words that are coming out of my mouth. To say that if you ain't got it by 14, it's okay. If you ain't got it by 27, 19, if you ain't got it by 30, 32, 44, slow it down. Take your time, so to speak. I'm 54. I go out on the limb and say that there are other men and women who have gone before me, who are older than me, who are saying the same thing. Man, I'm still trying to figure it out. Thank God for his grace and his mercy that he has not taken me, he's not consumed me. He still had grace and, mercy on my life. He still allowed me to, be here in the land of the living. That said, over the years, there's a lot of pressure built up, a lot of tension, literally physical tension in my body that had everything to do with doubt, worry, not being confident in myself, procrastination, analysis paralysis. Again, I would begin something, but then I wouldn't follow all the way through. So I didn't see a lot of full success in a lot of the things that I was doing. It's been a lot of things. And I'm speaking more to overall, what is my call? What is the assignment on my life? What am I called to do? What impact am I to make? Am I supposed to make in the earth, right? And what I'm getting at is to say, the title of this is I hit the reset button, right? I kind of feel like I took matters into my own hands, and what I'm about to say now, I'm going to continue to say throughout this video, right? I took matters into my own hands and released myself. The goal was to release myself from this pain, this tension, in my body. I believed at one point back in 2023 that the Lord told me to start a ministry. But with everything going on in my life, all the things, different things that was going on in my life, I was living out of my truck. I had my own trucking business. I had to shut it down back in 2023. And so I was living out of my truck. Without going into too much detail, I lost my wife. My wife passed away in 2022. And so since the loss of my wife in 2022, I've been on the road. I've been on the road back to becoming who God called me to be, or who God has designed me to be. Since 2022, this is now 2026, I've been on the road back to becoming who I was meant to be. And I've been through a myriad of different things. I have had a lot of losses since 2022. My wife passed away. Another good friend I lost tragically in 2024. My dad passed away last year, 2025. My life has been full of grief. And I'm not saying that like I'm the only one, because I know I'm not. And all along this time of my life, I've been still trying to figure out, what contribution am I to make in the earth? What is my purpose? What is the reason that God has put me here? And all the things that, I'm saying, that, like I said, that I've been through, grieving the loss of my in-laws. Man, sadly, when my wife passed, here's probably where I might cry. Sadly, when my wife, let me say this first of all. I've known my in-laws since I was 19 years old. So 30 some years, right? However many years that is. Sadly, when my wife passed away, I can't imagine what may have been going on in my in-laws' minds, in their heads. And I'm not on here to say what that was. I don't know. Again, I've known them since I was 19 years old. And in all the years that I've known them, I never tried to be nobody else. I never tried to be something I wasn't. I've always just tried to be myself. Especially being given the impression from them that I had room to do that, to just be myself, not pretend, not, I'm none of that. I've been Jay, I just been Jamon. And however, or whatever, when I lost my wife, I lost them. My wife passed, and the best way I can say it is they turned their backs on me in ways I could never imagine. I recently, a couple of months ago, November of last year, saw my father-in-law for the first time in 3+ years. Had not seen him since the day of my wife's funeral. And I haven't seen him since. So there's been a lot of grief, and again, saying, I grieved my wife, grieved my in-laws. We are nothing of what we used to be. And that's that. I love them. I miss what we had. At least I miss what I thought we had. And I pray for them often. What am I getting at? So that I'm not just rambling. Grief. There's been a lot of grief. And within all of that time of grieving, there was still man, what am I called here for? I know I'm not just here for nothing. What's the purpose for my being alive? And all of that time, in trying to figure that out, in 2023, as I mentioned, I believe the Lord had spoke to me and told me to start a ministry. Man, I had no idea what that meant. At least I thought I knew what that meant. And every time I thought that it was that, I would get overwhelmed. A ministry like a church, like being someone's pastor or whatever, I would get so overwhelmed. I would be struck with fear. Bottom line is what it was. I would be struck with fear. And it just became too much in my head, in that I was in my head. I was, in and out, just trying to figure it out or whatever like that. And I began to just experience a lot of pain, literal physical pain and tension in my body. And over time, I got tired of that. And I've been, like I said, have been trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? And so I started a podcast back in 2024 called Out of a Hard Place podcast. I made about 15 episodes, and that's when, after that, I lost the motivation, I lost the confidence, the courage, all that to keep doing it. And I was I was paying attention to the wrong thing. I was looking for people to subscribe. I was going to get a lot of subscriptions and or subscribers, and maybe I was going to go whether viral or I was going to be able to monetize, the channel or whatever. None of that happened. And I lost that focus, the belief and confidence in myself. And so I quit. I didn't do no more episodes. Like I said, I did about 15, I believe, about 15 episodes. I literally have to go back and see, but I think I did at least 15. And I gave up and began to just do other things, work and, getting myself back together, moving from different places and all that kind of stuff. Slowly but surely, climbing the mountain back to, a healthy life, a normal life. Got into therapy in 2024. And so again, if it's the Lord's will, this year I'll be in therapy 2 years, and just personal development, getting myself back together. What am I getting at? In all of that included trying to remember or trying to figure out, what am I called to do? How am I supposed to make my contribution in the earth? And I got tired of the pain, is what I'm getting at. I got tired of the pain. I got tired of the tension that I was sitting with. I got tired of the fear that would overcome me. I got tired of the doubt that would set in at times. And I was trying to figure out other ways to do what I believe the Lord told me to do in quote unquote starting a ministry. I don't know. I'm like, my thing became, Lord, I don't know about that. I don't know how to start a ministry. Whether that was my excuse, I don't know. But that's what I began to say. I don't know how to start no ministry. And I'm not in a hurry to get in nobody's pulpit. I'm not in a hurry to become nobody's pastor, elder, whatever. None of that. I couldn't see it. And I hit the reset button. Here's what I mean by the reset button. In my trying to figure out, what that was, what that was going to look like. That was one reason why I started the podcast back in 2024, because I thought, well, maybe that's it. I'm supposed to start this podcast, so I'm gonna do that. I like to talk, and all the times that I've been married, I talked enough for me and my wife, or my spouses. I'm a part of the club of statistics of people that's been married several times. Never thought that would be me, but such is life, and such is my experience in life. And I've learned from every marriage. Hence my getting into therapy in 2024. I have definitely evolved. The person I used to be, I am no more that person. And so I learned from my first marriage, my second marriage, and most definitely from my third marriage, and I still desire to be married. Single life is not for me. But anyway, I digress. I hit the reset button, meaning I got tired of the pressure. I got tired of the doubt. I got tired of the fear, not having that confidence, and just trying to find another way, really. Just trying to find another way to do what I believe the Lord told me to do. I didn't know about no ministry and all that. I don't know. But I hit the reset button and thought, okay, 2024, start a podcast. But I didn't follow through. I didn't do it enough. I wasn't consistent. And then in 2025, I was working on, so last year, I was working on a project, and didn't follow through with that. And so here I am again. And this time in 2025, I began smoking cigars, got into the cigar culture, and really liked that, really enjoy that. And over time, started thinking that, hey, start feeling, I was always feeling that need to come back here to YouTube to start to do something in the way of trying to still be on that path of figuring out, what am I called to do? What is the purpose that God has put me on this earth? And I came up with the idea of cigars, conversation, cigars and reflection. And that's where I'm at now, making this video and the previous ones that I've made already. And again, I say I hit the reset button to mean I said, I was like, God, I'm tired of this pain. I'm tired of this. And I'm not, let me say this real quick. I'm not like some folks in that, and I've said this before, there are plenty of people who've gone before me who were eager. They're eager to preach, eager to get into a pulpit, eager to start a church. And that ain't been me. That ain't been me, And so to free myself of that, and maybe there's going to be comments and, people making statements in the comments or whatever. Say what you want. I basically was like, Lord, I cannot see my way to figure out how I'm going to do this under all this strain, and the pain and the tension, the fear, of whatever it is I'm supposed to do. I just couldn't do it. And so I hit the reset button and said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna start this new project I'm doing, this new podcast. And like I said, it's gonna be cigars and reflection. Transformation. I'm still wanting to make an impact in someone's life, still wanting to say something encouraging, still wanting to say something impactful, and maybe I can do it by combining my like and enjoyment of cigars and conversation. And so here I am again. And my hope, this is what I told my brother, and I'm getting ready to get off of here. This is what I told my brother, and is that my hope has been that God is going to reroute me. I think of the story in Zechariah. I could try to grab it real quick. The scripture that says God just wants us to begin to work. Matter of fact, I'll be right back. Let me grab that because I want to be clear in what I'm saying. So let me grab that right quick. All right, so I'm back. This scripture verse is in Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 10. And I'll just kind of read down to where I'm trying to get to. It's probably right there in verse 10. It says, "For whoever has despised the day of small things shall rejoice, and shall see the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel." Now, I got to be honest. That's not that is not right off the top of my head. That is not the scripture verse that I'm looking for. At least not in that particular version of it. This is ESV. So let me move around here and try to find it in, let's see, New Living Translation. Because the verse I'm trying to get to it says something about God just wanting us to begin the work. He just, wants us he wants to see us begin the work. So it's important that I try to find this so that I can quote it right. Zechariah 4:10 speaks of small beginnings, and the saying or the proverbial way in which we've heard that be said is, despise not the days of small beginnings. I think that's King James version. But let me come back in a minute here, and let me find the scripture that I'm looking for. Be right back. Okay, I found what I'm looking for. Had to go and look it up on Google. Okay, so check this out. It's still Zechariah 4:10, and I promise you I'm going somewhere with the reason why I even went down this street. The context of the I'm going to read two things: the context and God's perspective. Okay, so the context of Zechariah 4:10 is this. It says, the prophet Zechariah spoke these words to Zerubbabel, who was tasked with rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem. The foundation was small, and many were discouraged compared to the former glory of Solomon's temple. Here's God's perspective. God sees the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel, symbolizing that work had begun, and we're talking about, it's speaking of God, and he rejoices in this initial small effort. What I'm trying to liken that to is God does the same thing for us. When we've been called or tasked with a call or an assignment or our purpose or whatever, God rejoices in us beginning what that is going to look like, what that's supposed to look like. And he just wants us to start. He's happy. God rejoices, as it's saying. God rejoices in, hey, my son has begun. Now he wants us to stay consistent, that over time we will see success. We will see what this initial step of 1,000 miles is going to look like. But over time, sometimes we get discouraged. We stop believing in ourselves and we quit. And so I looked at this again, coming back here on YouTube, as, getting back in the fight, trying to find my way, to figure out what I'm called to do in the earth. And now I'm doing it through cigars and reflection, or cigars and conversation. And my hope is what I was trying to get back to was, my hope has been that whether I was called back in 2003, when I believe the Lord spoke to me and said, start a ministry, whether that's supposed to be a church or whatever, I don't still know. My hope is that today, I haven't given up. I'm still trying to figure it out at 54. That my hope is, even if this maybe is not necessarily the way I'm supposed to go, I'm just tired of the pain. I'm tired of the tension. I can't see myself doing whatever it is I'm supposed to do under these constraints of pain and tension and stress and worry and doubt. So I'm trying to go another way. That is not to say that I'm trying to be in rebellion. That is not to say I'm trying to be in disobedience. I'm trying to figure it out, just like you're trying to figure it out. At whatever age you are, you're trying to figure it out. What are you called to do? What do you like to do? What's your gift? What's your talent? What's your skill? Whatever. You're trying to figure this thing out so that God gets the glory and you get the benefit, and those who come into your life can get the same benefit. I figured, okay, I'm going to try this cigars conversation. And in the conversation pieces, I'm still trying to offer value. I'm trying to offer encouragement. I still want to impact someone's life by what I say, how I say what I say. I still want to inspire people to find out and figure out what their goal is, just like or what their gift is, what their calling is, what the assignment on their life is, just like I'm trying to do that. And my hope is that God in his mercy, his grace, and his goodness, he'll redirect me. He'll reroute me like our GPS does in our car when we go the wrong way. It'll reroute us. My hope is that God will have mercy on me. God will he'll show his grace, he'll place his grace on me, or to say he'll grace me and he'll reroute me. And that sooner or later, through my beginning, this small beginning, this initial start of this podcast or this assignment, this project, that I'll see it through, that I'll stay consistent. And in time, he'll reroute me and I'll still end up where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to be doing what he called me to do. I couldn't see my way to do it under all that pain, under all that stress. And maybe somebody out there is saying, well, you just get over that. You just get over it and step out in faith and do it anyway. Nah, that ain't me. Say what you want. That ain't me. Nah, it's somewhat got to make some sense to me. I ain't in no hurry to get in nobody's pulpit. I ain't in no hurry to have nobody calling me pastor and all that. I'm just not. I've seen enough pastors, people do that, say they called or whatever, and then they fall. That's not to say I'm perfect or I'm trying to be perfect. I'm simply trying to find my way, just like you're trying to find your way. And so I hit the reset button. I say, okay, I'm going to do this right here. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to be consistent with it. And the hope, again, is that God will reroute me. And in time, I'll still end up, by God's grace, I'll still end up where I'm supposed to be, doing what I was always called to do, And so that's the whole explanation there, that I hit the reset button. Now, am I telling you to do that? No. I'm simply sharing my story. I'm simply sharing with you, this is what I experienced. And because of that experience, here's why I made the decisions that I made. And for now, I feel good about it. I've committed to being on here every week. I am building momentum. As the date of this video, I have not gone. The channel is not open to the public. It is unlisted. But this will count as the 5 or 6 videos that I said I'm trying to create, and that by the time this video is published and people can see it, I will have built up a momentum, right, of coming on here every week, and people. How will people find my channel? Well, first of all, I'm going to send links to my family. Say, hey, check out this project, I did. And it's going to contain everything that I've been working on, to have it to become what it's going to become on the day that I release it, And by me sending the link of this to my family and friends and all of that kind of stuff, the hope is they will like it, they will share it, they will subscribe, they'll send it to their friends and say, girl, you got to hear my brother. He just started a new project, girl. It got music and everything, whatever. I've come a long way. So this stuff I'm currently working on right now, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the progress. the maturity, the evolving that I've been doing. I'm proud of that. And so I'm not trying to be perfect, but I'm trying to do it right. And I'm wanting to stand 10 toes down on any and everything that I say and any and everything that I do. So I'm not in no hurry again to even get this out. But currently I am working on how to, do my the logo for the channel and how to do the motion for my videos, for every video that's gonna come after the initial first video and everything. I want to have music in there and the disclaimer and all that kind of stuff. I want all that stuff, and I'm currently doing that with the help of ChatGPT, and I'm on my way. Again, getting out of here, getting ready to get off of here. I wanted to come on here just to share this, to say that the way in which we go about life trying to figure out, how we're supposed to do what we do, it isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it has detours. Sometimes we have, hiccups and life happens, loss happens, grief happens, all the different things that we go through as human beings on that road to trying to figure out, who we are and what we're called to do. All that happens. All of it happens. And that's what happened with me. And as I said, hopefully not out of rebellion, not because I'm trying to be rebellious, or I'm just going to do what I want to do. No, I'm just hoping that God shows mercy on me. I'm trying to figure it out. I've cried many a days, many a nights out to God saying, like, man, don't you see me? Don't you see where I am? Don't you see what I'm going through? I'm trying to figure this thing out, and so I'm still here. I'm grateful that I'm still here, still trying to figure it out. And I've come a long way. And hopefully whoever you may be, man, woman, adolescent, teenager, you found value in this content. You found value in everything that I've said here now for 42 minutes. I've said something that was inspiring. I've said something that was encouraging. I said something that hit home. Hopefully I said something wherein you found yourself in me. You saw yourself through me. Man, I went through that same thing. Oh man, he's saying the same thing. I just came out of that. Or man, I'm thinking that same thing. Oh my God, man. Oh man, whatever. Hopefully I've said something inspiring that maybe we're the same. You're going through the same thing. I'm going to say, hold on. I'm going to say, keep going. I'm going to say, figure it out. I'm going to say, keep talking to God. Keep crying out to God. Keep asking him to help. And he'll send help. He'll send help. And you'll find yourself somewhere down the road, hopefully doing what he's called you to do. Come hell or high water, as sometimes we say, good, bad, or indifferent, you will find your way. Like I'm trying to find mine. So I hit that reset button. Is what all I'm getting at. I hit that reset button, and I've committed to making weekly content. Not trying to overwhelm myself. That's the other thing. I was overwhelmed, emotionally overwhelmed with trying to figure it out. I hit that reset button. I'm like, man, I can't do it under those kind of constraints. I'm not going to do it under those kind of constraints. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going this route. And as I said, I'm committed to being on here once a week, sharing, different cigars I'm smoking, talking about some cigar content and all that kind of stuff, and having conversations or whatever. And hopefully I say something again, inspiring, encouraging, or whatever. And if you like the content, you'll like it. You'll share and subscribe. Hit that notification button for when I post new content. And that's that. I just simply wanted to share. Felt inspired to share by the video that I was listening to. And after this video, I'm going to go back to finish watching that video. It is Sunday evening. What is it? This, oh my God, what is it? March? This is March 8th? Yeah, March 8th. That's not really important, but there it is. It's March 8th, 2026. And this has been another episode of More Than the Smoke, where status disappears, but the smoke stays the same. I'm Jamon. I'm your host. And I hope you'll have an awesome rest of your evening, your morning, your afternoon, whatever time zone you may come across this content, at whatever part of the day that you may come across this content. Hopefully something I've said has inspired you to continue on your journey of finding out who you are and what you're called to do in the earth. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome week. And I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.